Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division gameplay by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 2 versus 2 on Pointe du Hoc, and in this one I'm going to be playing with Valh. Myself and Valh are both going to be using the 91st Luftlande against VVDP and Praetorian, who are playing the 15th Infantry Scots Division and the 3rd Armoured US Division. So this was an interesting one because myself and Valh both really enjoy playing the 91st Luftlande, but they can be quite weak against certain decks, especially like the armoured decks. You can get caught out quite badly in the early game where you don't have enough AT to deal with like enemy tanks, for example, so you can get overrun if they stay just out of range of your Panzerfaust and your Panzerschrecks, which can be incredibly annoying to play against. But either way, in this one, myself and Valh decided to both play 91st Luftlande, and it was a pretty risky strategy. Either way, at the beginning, you can see that there is a defense beacon put out in the center. I'm just going to pop it to my point of view so that we can see exactly what's going on. Yeah, Valh did put a defense beacon in the center, and basically the idea was that everything on the right side was Valh's and everything on the left side was mine, in terms of what we needed to try and control. So at the start of the game, I am going to be starting with a pack gun on the left side. I've also got some Fallschirmjäger covered by a command infantry, and I've also got an MG42 over there. I've furthermore got a few recon squads here. We've got a Panzerschreck recon squad and the FG42 recon squad there, with the command infantry and also some Fallschirmjägers. So the idea is that I'm just going to secure some of the tree lines, and we can actually, I believe, possibly look at where we were going to put those, but I'm bringing up a mortar on the left side now as well. The idea is to try and get into this town and take control of that, and then also push up and take some of the hedgerows in the centre as well, just to make sure that our front line stays level across the centre as we continue to push forwards. I also I'll move the Fallschirmjäger over to the right side because I really wanted to get the Fallschirmjäger into this building right smack bang in the centre of the map. Actually a really nice building to hold because it gives you a lot of presence in that area, and it's also covered by this nice tree line. Like the only hard cover in the centre of the map, so it's definitely worth holding if you can. And I covered the premise of hard and soft cover in the last playthrough or gameplay, but basically like hard cover, I think it just gives you like a way more defensive bonus. So for example, deploying in houses as opposed to just hiding in hedgerows and trees. You know, hiding in actual houses gives you a much bigger defensive bonus, and therefore you would always win against a squad that's actually standing next to you in a forest. And that's why holding the buildings are so important. Now I think what's definitely interesting in the Steel Division compared to like Wargame, for example, is that basically each side chooses what they deem to be important. And for this game, for example, I choose this building here to be important, and so does Valh, because Valh starts to bring up his own men to the center as well. And that's what I find like really interesting about the dynamic of the game. Like for all we could care, we could do a double push on the left side and they could do a double push on the right side. The map would turn on its head, but we'd probably still end up 50-50 in terms of territory. Either way, I've already unloaded my MG34 into this building here, and I've got my Pack 36 moving up, ready to ambush enemy half tracks that come up the road. I'm just unloading all of this infantry now. I'm going to have it run across the open instead of remain in its vehicles, because the vehicles actually tend to take a little while longer. This 50mm mortar is providing some fire onto the road there, because I kind of expected their half trucks to just sort of rush into the town, but they didn't in the end. So it managed to allow me to get my Fallschirmjäger and the Panzers, and also the Fallschirmjäger there, into a good position. My mortar lands some great shots onto the armed rifles, and almost instantly we pin them down and destroy them. Valh brings in his HS-129B3, which does go for a gun run onto the M4A1, and the HS-129 does have the big old AT cannon on the front of it. Unfortunately this time round, not going to penetrate the M4A1. But with the help of the mortars, we do pin down those 2 infantry squads, and we also kill off the 2 half-tracks thanks to the Panzerschreck squad deployed in this house just here. So a very good start, although that was only 2 units of infantry. More of their infantry is on the right, and this pack gun is in a bit of a terrible position. I do have my Panzer 35 here, but they also have an AT gun. That is a big issue. I don't really have any infantry to cover my right flank, since my Fallschirmjäger have run off to the left, and the Fallschirmjäger here aren't really great. Do manage to take out a half-track, thankfully, with the Pack 36. Now I'm bringing up these Fallschirmjäger just to jump into this house and provide us with some defense until I can get some more reinforcements to the left side. In the center, my units have just spread out. I've got some Fallschirmjäger to hang out on the left side, cover this sort of area here. You can see what they can see. Over here we've just got the Fallschirmjäger occupied in a house, and they're supported by the Fallschirmjäger. So this unit here does get hit pretty hard by the advancing infantry, and I was trying to kind of run him away from this engagement by keeping him out of line of sight of the enemy infantry squads, but it was very hard to do so, and the armed rifles do actually eventually get onto that one man left standing. So now I'm moving up my MG34. It's the only way that I can see that I can hold back all of this infantry that's coming, using the mortar, of course, to pin down the enemy infantry squad whilst I move forwards the MG34. Over on the left side, the Panzerjägers get into range with their Panzerfaust and destroy another half-track and pin down some more infantry. A pretty good job so far. Managed to get the MG34 garrisoned into this building, allows them to pin down the enemy scouts there and do a lot of damage and kill them off. And now the MG34 can start picking off the armoured rifles in that building. So again, another M3 HT arrives, that half-track. And what I'm going to do is move over the Panzerschreck to the left building where the Fallschirmjäger were, so that they can get in range to destroy that for me, because currently it's free firing onto my MG squad. So there goes the enemy half-track. There is another one there. So I'm going to line that up, and we're going to make that bail up as well. And now, well, with the help of both my Fallschirmjäger squads, we pin down some more armoured rifles and the armoured leader in order to kill them off. So, doing very, very well on this left side. They keep trying to push into me, but with the combination of my Panzerschreck and also the Panzerjägers, or the Fallschirmjägers, sorry, we start to do an awesome amount of damage to the enemy as they approach. And meanwhile, I've saved enough points to bring in 4 more units of Fallschirmjägers, so I'm going to have them to start spread out on the left side, and maybe take back some of this ground that I've lost. Because at the moment, the enemy team's actually winning by 92 points. It's currently now 50-50, no tick in either direction. But ideally, we want to start the tick in our direction, so that's what I'm basically going for here with this push of Fallschirmjägers. We're going to bump into the armoured rifles there. And I've also got this Fallschirmjäger squad bumping into the 57mm gun. Going to be able to pin down a lot of this infantry. The arm leader there also going to get killed off. Fallschirmjäger going to be hitting these arm rifles really hard. These ones are having to fall back due to the attack from the half-tracks. And over on this left side, something crazy did happen. I actually ran out of ammunition onto the Gewers for the Fallschirmjäger, and also the machine gun for the Fallschirmjäger there. They also ran out of ammunition for the FG42 and the G43. So I'm pretty much at this point calling for Valh to provide me with some supply, because my deck at this point didn't have any supply on it. It's a massive mistake that I completely overlooked for a very long time. But basically in this game, because these Fallschirmjäger were being so effective, I completely neglected the fact that they actually needed supply. And on this deck I didn't have supply coming in until like phase C. So that's pretty much like an entirely useless squad at the moment. But that Fallschirmjäger, the only thing it's good for currently is destroying enemy half-tracks, just like this Panzerschreck. But that Panzerschreck's also ran out of ammunition. So yeah, just calling at the moment for Valh to bring me in some supply over on the left side. I'm now bringing up some more reinforcements. Another machine gun, the Opel Blitz with some more Fallschirmjäger, and Valh's bringing up those Kubel munition wagons for us. Continuing with the mortar fire onto the armoured rifles there. I would love to kill them off, but I don't have any ammunition, like I've said before. I'm just going to move over one of my squads from the right side to cover off against the infantry. So we're currently pushing a +1 with 51% territory. And we're very, very close now to phase B. So 50 seconds left till phase B. And then I can really start to shape up the front line. So over on this side, I've got my unit of Fallschirmjäger moving forward, supported by my command infantry there. Try and take out the rifles. That's a little engagement I had going on whilst my reinforcements arrived in the town. Now I was worried that Valh's munitions wagons here would get hit by the enemy, but by default I believe the enemy have, or everybody has, attacking munitions turned off. And this could be both a good thing and a bad thing, because you can capture enemy munitions, which is why you might not want to actually pick them up yourself.
Don't shoot.
Or blow them up yourself. But in general, like blowing them up and denying the enemy that supply is quite a good idea. Now, as you can see, I did actually blow up an M8 Scott up here with the Panzerschreck, and we just took out a half-track with the Fallschirmjäger on the right side. So managing to pull off those small ambushes, and I brought up some Ersatztruppen now in order to basically take the place of my Fallschirmjäger as I move the Fallschirmjäger onwards. And now the Fallschirmjäger have actually resupplied, what I'm going to be able to do is actually attack with them. The Panzerschreck gets one kill, and the other Panzerschreck gets the other kill onto those half-tracks. These Panzerschreck squads, they seriously are good at this sort of range. I think their max range is, what, 250 meters? Which basically is up to this point. And you can see that those half-tracks just got in range as they come round the tree line there, which is exactly why I put these into these specific positions. I believe we managed to push away the rifle squad in the centre, which gave us this big old lump of territory here, pushed up to 58%. enemy P-38 Lightning is going to come onto my HS-129. HS-129 is going to get shot down because of that. I had brought that in to destroy the enemy M4A1 on the left side, but losing that AT aircraft early on, pretty horrific. For the Svartrup, engaging with the Recce. The Recce actually can't fire back because they do have these Sten guns, which don't have the same range that the FG-42 has. So I'm quite happy with this engagement, just letting the recon fire at the enemy recon at range and completely unmolested. Now I'm trying to move my Fallschirmjäger up a little bit more, just trying to make a little bit more ground. Basically the plan at the moment, squeeze as much territory as we can out of the enemy. Although at the current point in this game, they do have this big old blob between our lines. We're pushing up here with the Fallschirmjäger and so on, and they're pushing down into our middle lines. We sort of bypass each other in the centre. So finally the Svartrup do take out the Recce. Now they're just going to be there to provide recon onto the enemy forces beyond. We can see that there are some Panzer Grenadiers here, or the armed rifles even. M3HT does approach my Fallschirmjäger. I'm going to try and get a kill onto that with the Panzerfaust, and we do succeed. Also managed to pin down the armed rifles just there and do a lot of damage. But now a jumbo has arrived, and I'm very wary about this jumbo as it approaches my infantry. With the enemy in the sky here, the Spitfire Mark 9, I've actually brought up my own Bf-109 G6R6, and as that Spitfire goes off to kill my HS-129s, I'm hoping to be able to get the kill onto that Spitfire. I do manage to kill the Spitfire, although it does take down my HS-129, but then I also get a second kill onto a Typhoon, so that's fantastic. Now just here, the jumbo actually fast moves past my Fallschirmjäger, and the Fallschirmjäger gets a side shot onto the jumbo, which I thought was absolutely incredible. A great job done there by the Fallschirmjäger. That jumbo costs the enemy team an awful lot of points, and picking that off with a lone infantry squad is actually pretty rare and generally requires a missed micro from the enemy team. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. They drove it up the road, bypassing what they knew was there, and of course the jumbo died. So now Valh going to be bringing in his HS-129 just to try and get rid of this M16 MGMC for us, which is an AA half-track, and that's to allow my Fallschirmjäger to start running up to the next tree lines and pushing our line forwards, because now we are running a +2 lead. So Fallschirmjäger there are going to be engaging those armed rifles and the engineer leader, but I do need to be worried a little bit about the tank coming up there and destroying that infantry squad, because I only have this recon squad left here, and if I'm not too careful, they could just gain a ton of ground in the centre and really cancel this +2 that we've got going on. Because Valh's making a massive headway on the right side, using these Panzer IIIs and the Fallschirmjägers. He's also got the Fallschirmjägers there. He's playing against the Scottish deck. I managed to use the Bf-109 there to strafe the engineer leader squad and kill that. And now I'm bringing over the Bf-109 to take care of this Typhoon. So maintaining air supremacy, especially with this deck, the 91st Luftlande, is very important because you rely on aircraft so much later in the game. especially when it comes to Phase C and you want to use those bombers. If the enemy still has fighters available to them, then you're going to be in trouble, because the bombers generally do get shot down very easy by enemy aircraft, and they aren't fast enough to get away in time. There is still this massive blob in our own territory, so I'm going to try and close that off with some reinforcements there, bringing up some more infantry. This Fallschirmjäger is extremely close to this M4A3, but this is the 105mm version with the 14 HE power cannon. But as you can see, it does actually move into range of the Fallschirmjäger, and boom goes another Sherman. This time it was the 105mm version. Enemy Thunderbolt is going to be brought in whilst my BF-109 is flying about, and that Thunderbolt was actually going to try and go for the kill onto the HS-129, but my BF-109 is on the case. Does force the Thunderbolt to fall back. That allows the BF-109 to swing on round and try and kill that, although he does run out of fuel just as I'm swinging him round, so I bring in a second BF-109 to do the same job. And this BF-109 is going to catch on to the enemy lightning here in order to try and take that out before it does any significant damage. So it does some morale damage to the Panzer III as it is being attacked by an enemy unit, but the P-38 is not going to get away with that. So another ammo explosion there, killing another tank, an M4A1 Sherman. Fallschirmjäger doing a fantastic job, now run out of Panzerfausts. But in general, I was very pleased with their performance. Meanwhile, over on this left side, I've basically just fortified this town. I've got the mortars there standing behind the building, using that hard cover to allow them to fire further if we need to. In the centre, again bringing up more of my planes. I've just got the BF-109 G6R6 there to provide us with air cover, and that basically allows my HS-129s to come in and not be harassed whilst they take out enemy forces. So there we just took out the MGMC carrier, which is the anti-aircraft variant of the half-track. The HS-129 now coming over to the right side to try and assist with Valh. It's just a sort of fire positioning where it last saw a target that I gave it. Now the idea is to have the HS-129 just come around again for probably one more pass. And in the meantime, I'm going to be continuing to push my Grenadiers and Fallschirmjäger Vorwärts. So now we've moved into Phase B and now Phase C. My Grenadiers are available to me. They are currently being buffed up by the Pioneer Führer. And honestly, the Allies are leading with 53% territory, because on Valh's far right side, they've made a little probing attack there. In the centre, they've definitely made some ground, having some units probably in this area around my mouse. But Valh's going to be coming in to help me clear out the centre. Because on the left, I've got this fully secured. Over on the right, Valh's, I want to say, got that fully secured, but he is still under pressure quite significantly. Meanwhile, I'm just using all of my planes to fly about and kill stuff. The planes do look awfully cool. So this is an FW-190G3. Going to be dropping a couple of 500 kilogram bombs onto the enemy AA. Now I have a BF-109 that's going to be coming in for an attack onto a Thunderbolt. New one coming in, another BF-109 there, so as my BF-109 G6 actually retreats, I can still have another one here ready to shoot down the Thunderbolt. And as the BF-109 G6 does get onto target, he is going to end up shooting down that Thunderbolt before it gets away. It's very close to the Thunderbolt actually getting out of there, but fortunately the BF-109 killing it off before it could escape. So racking myself up a lot of lovely kills, but we don't have particularly too much sort of map presence, I guess. So what I'm going to try and do now is maybe sneak up these Grenadiers onto the M4A1 there. These Jaegers are pinned down, and the reason I didn't fall them back is because basically I didn't want them to get hit by the M4A1 anymore, and it was putting them into cover. But then I finally decided to fall them back and get them to the left side of the tree line there. So you can see in the bottom line, or bottom left, sorry, all of the aircraft that I'd actually had bought at this point, and it's a lot. I do have a lot of aircraft that I had access to throughout this game, and of course the 91st Luftlande does make a lot of use of infantry and also just aircraft. That's pretty much how it works. Now a Ju-88 is going to come in here. These things have the two massive bombs, and they're going to land them right on top of multiple infantry squads, multiple half tracks, and a tank there. One of the M4A1s does go down alongside two half tracks and those three infantry squads. Awesome kills there for my bomber. As it reached phase C, we do have access to the big bombers now, and I am going to start buying more of those to do my dirty work. Now bringing in the BF-109s as well. These are going to just continue to strafe enemy infantry to allow Valh to push up. As you can see, we're going to pin them down, the rifle leader actually being killed off by the BF-109, and on this right side the assault pioneers also being hit pretty hard. I managed to get this Grenadier squad up to a point where it could fire its Panzerfaust at the half-track, but the half-track's going to make a run for it with its transmission damaged. It should allow me to actually run and catch up to that, but I was wary of it coming back from being basically pinned down and then sort of brutalizing my squad in the open with us like running after it. I'm going to go ahead at this point and buy myself another bomber, and you are going to see a lot of these bombers throughout the game. They do have 500 kilogram bombs though, and they are fantastic for destroying enemy infantry. So here you can see I take out another infantry squad, the armoured rifles. We pin down a second one and almost destroy the M3 HT at the same time. And I was getting very close to my Grenadiers, but what I'm going to do with my Grenadiers is just charge on forwards and try and make these chaps surrender. But before that happens, the MMG carrier on the left side is going to pin down my Grenadiers here. I use one of my BF-109s to strafe the MMG carrier, and we do manage to get a lovely kill onto that. So that was great, relieves a little bit of pressure onto my Grenadiers, but now the Jumbo has arrived and is being a bit of an issue. Ju-88 coming in again, another brilliant bombing strike, blows up two half-tracks and the armoured rifles, and we make loads of ground back in the middle all of a sudden, taking us to the plus 55% map control and the +1 overall. In terms of victory, we should be seeing victory in about 14 minutes, which is basically the entire length of the game. Over on the right side, Valh is going to lose his Panzer III, unfortunately, probably to this 17-pounder. Black 88 though is on the case, is going to be able to destroy that enemy AT. And he does have a second Panzer III here anyway, which he can use to continue to pin down infantry. It does have a HE value, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Otherwise it wouldn't be firing at the assault pioneers there. But those assault pioneers should be taken out shortly. There is an infantry squad behind us. So I was a bit wary about approaching that, but with the MG34 actually pinning them down, Valh can use the grenadiers there to capture them if he spots that. Now I have a Bf-109 G2 in the sky and the Bf-109 G6R6. So I'm going to get the Bf-109 G2 to take out the Typhoon for us, which was a very nice kill. And the Bf-109 G6R6 I tell to retreat before Praetorian can use his Mustang, because those Mustangs can do a lot of damage. And if you're in twos, well, generally they don't tend to pick on you, but when they start to get desperate, they will bring out those AAs and start attacking you. Well, not AAs, the air supremacy aircraft, so for example those Mustangs, the interceptors there. So a Jeep is going to be approaching Valh's Fallschirmjäger there. If they get any closer, they will probably be killed by the HHL-3. Now the HS-129 coming in again from Valh this time to take care of one of the M4A3s for us. So just hoping for a good hit onto the front of them, but unfortunately because they have the 11 front armour, these M4A3s are still pretty difficult to kill for the HS-129. Also the HS-129 doesn't tend to always land its target. Now the Ju-88 is going to be bringing in some bombs, and they're going to land directly on top of the enemy AA, destroying both the half-track and the AA itself. So I just did that so that we could make some more ground. Starting to kill off the rifles here with the help of the Grenadiers and the Fallschirmjägers. This HS-129 came in try and hit some of our forces, some of their forces. But yeah, didn't really do particularly too much. It got stunned and was forced to fall back, and it possibly would have been nice to have it stay around and kill off a lot of these M4A3s for us. But it's okay, we're still running a +1 between myself and Valh. And well, I'm just trying to sneak across this Fallschirmjäger squad to get them into a position where they can actually fire their Panzerfaust or even throw their HHL-3 onto these tanks. Over on the right side though, Valh's still making great progress. But as I am bringing in this Ju-88 bomber, trying to go for the two M4A3s at the front, which are basically bunched up. We managed to get a really nice bombing strike there. And now I'm bringing in 3 Bf-109. I'm engaged by 2 Mustangs and a Thunderbolt. Bf-109s are here to try and take care of those Mustangs and give ourselves full air supremacy. The Thunderbolt does shoot down one of my Bf-109s, but the P-47 Thunderbolt doesn't last too long as my Bf-109s finish that off. So we win that air engagement, and as the front line encloses around the enemy tanks that were left behind, you can see my Fallschirmjäger here is just going from tank to tank, destroying them. So multiple M4A1s and M4A3s being taken out. You can see as I continue to move forwards, I find the M4A3 75mm, shoot that in the side with the Panzerfaust, and boom. So an absolutely fantastic job there, and it was called GG by Praetorian. Both of the enemy team decide to surrender, and that is a major victory after 31 minutes and 26 seconds. We jump over to the team. You can see the kills are pretty crazy at this point. And it was interesting because the front line didn't actually go too far in our favour, even though if you look at the kills, I was 3,665 kills to 685 losses. In terms of what I had on the map and what I had in the air, like, I just had so much more value on the map and available to me that the enemy did not. And maybe I just didn't push enough when I was like bombing stuff and blowing stuff up with AT aircraft. But either way, we still end up winning in the end. Valh also doing extremely well. So this was a very interesting game. It showed me how many kills you can get without even realizing it. Because I definitely didn't expect to have that many kills at the end of the game. But either way, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this one. It really showcased the 91st Luftlande properly. They do definitely focus a lot on infantry and aircraft. At the end of the game, it does become quite an aircraft spam. And you do need to make sure that you maintain control of the skies, hence why I had multiple BF-109s towards the end of that game. There you go, that's all. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.